Hey guys, The Last of Us Prologue got leaked yesterday, but the video did get taken down very soon. Fuck YouTube, right? But I did see it, and I am gonna spoil it for you. So here we go. So we start off with seeing Joel walking in, arguing with his contractor on the phone, which wakes up her daughter Sarah, who's sleeping on the couch. It looks like Joel's had a rough day, and it's pretty late at night, so to cheer him up, Sarah hands him a gift. Apparently, it's Joe's birthday. She gets him a watch, but he questions where she got the money for it. To which she replies, by selling drugs. Yeah, by selling drugs. Huh. I mean, already I've started feeling for this girl like I did for Clementine from The Walking Dead. Anyway, we fast forward to later at that night, where she wakes up from the explosions going on somewhere else, and she's searching the house for Joel, calling out his name, sorry, and finally she gets to the kitchen where Joel just barges in through the door, which kind of scared the hell out of me. But he barges in and he's just like, there's something wrong with the neighbors and we gotta get out. And what you see after that is him just reloading his gun. He gets a gun from the drawer and is just loading it up. And she's questioning him about what's wrong. And then you just see like a zombie, which is probably his neighbor, just bash against through the window and just goes straight through the door, coming in, and Joel's like warning him, step away, don't make me do this, but eventually he has to shoot him, and just the scene of that freaks her out, which now she's starting to question, like, you just killed this man, and he's like, yeah, I know. So they step out of the house and they see they see Sarah's uncle come around. The name of the uncle slips by me, but they get in their uncle's car and they're just driving off like everybody else is just, you see on the streets, just packing up, starting to leave, which is a pretty decent idea. But they get into the motorway to get out of town. The uncle's like, apparently this is everywhere. This has started on the East Coast, West Coast. It's all around. It's just a big sort of, they try to hide it, but now it's just spreading. What you do. So eventually they get to the motorway, but it's blocked off because there's a lot of traffic. Everybody's trying to get stuck in traffic, but what they see is a man coming out of the car in front, and he just gets pummeled to the ground by a zombie, and the zombie just starts eating him. So to that, they say, fuck that shit, and they turn around the car, and they just go in the opposite direction now. But what happens is they run into the sort of town area now, and there's people running about all the place, and the uncle's like, I can't just run them over, and Joel just doesn't give a fuck, he just wants them out of the way so they can get away. By the way, there's also a scene in the road where there's a family who's just coming around the woods and they're asking for help. They're just sort of hitchhikers. They're like, stop. The dad's like, Joe's like, fuck that, just leave them, and they just drive past in their car, leaving them behind, which is a really sad thing, but obviously they're not gonna make it. It's just like, and the daughter Sarah does question that. They could have saved them, but Joe's just taking none of that. Anyway, what happens next is they're in the town. They are trying to get around the people who are running about in their direction. And Joe's like, well, what are they running from? Or Sarah's like that. But yeah, Sarah's like, what, they must be running away from something, right? But what happens next is they get sort of sideswiped by a truck, I believe, and it's basically a crash, and the car is flipped sideways, and so burning is basically it's just yeah. So the car is swiped. No, the car is turned on its side. The car is turned on its side, and what you see is Sarah waking up first, and Joe is just out. We don't see the uncle at this point. Maybe he's got out. You don't know where he's gone. Maybe he's dead. But the camera is on Joe and Sarah. So Sarah wakes Joel up. Well, kind of Joel just opens his eyes and sees there's a driver in a different car, maybe the car who rear-ended him, and he's getting eaten by a zombie. So Joel's like, oh shit, I gotta wake up. And he just uses his feet to basically get the he just uses his feet to bash through the window. Well, yeah, he just uses he uses his feet to just break the glass and get out, and then he just quickly pulls Sarah out. But what happens is they get attacked by a zombie. Like, Joe is, I think, knocked down, but then you see the uncle coming in, saving the day, and it's a bullet to the brain for the zombie. Whatever happens next is, what happens next is, Joel just picks Sarah up, but Sarah's got injured. Her leg's not working, so Joel's got to carry her around now, and the uncle's basically got to protect him. So they're running like everybody else into the street, and, well, they're just running, and what you see behind is just a horde of zombies catching up, trying to eat them. So they gotta find a place to quickly. Hey, the uncle does point out alleyway, and they go into that, but it's no different from the rest. The zombies are coming on from the sides. They're getting through the fences. They're getting everywhere. Well, I'm calling them zombies, but they're actually called infected in this game. Well, so the infected are coming around everywhere, and it's all fucked. Fuck. They're all running, and basically they find a door, so between them and the zombies, and what happens is, Joel and Sarah make it, but the uncle is basically trapped. He's got to hold the door for them to get away. And the uncle's just like, go, you have Sarah with you, so, I mean, you have, go, you have Sarah to look after, and just Joe's like, well, he understands the sacrifice, so he just legs it to the back of the room, and they get out, they're in the forest, and Sarah's just questioning, like, what's gonna happen to the uncle, and, well, Joel's just like, yeah, he's gonna make it out, don't worry, he's gonna make it out. But on the back of his mind and our minds is, right there, he's gonna be eaten as soon as that door is gonna be opened and the zombies get in. Shit, well, situation's fucked already. To make it worse, there's zombies, or the infected, in the jungle as well. They're everywhere, like I said. So they are chasing Joel and Sarah still from different directions, and you see, well, this is the cool thing, is you see an ambulance is turned over, it's crashed, and the medic from the ambulance sort of just crawls out, and all of a sudden, well, we was probably dead, and that's how the infection got him, and then we'll scroll. Well, 1 second he's crawling out, and next he's sprinting straight after Joel and Sarah. So what tells me is you die and then you straight away get taken, or you're dying and you get taken, and it's just the hunger, man. The hunger speaks, and they're just running after Joel and Sarah. Well, we're running into they're running. It's sort of, they get to a hill bit, and there's a cutscene where there's a soldier who guns down the zombies behind them, and he's just like, hold it right there. Well, and just And the look on Joel's and Sarah's face is sort of hysterical, sort of. They're like really frightened and sort of relieved at the same time. What happens next is the soldiers on the radio. He's saying, this is from quote, I'm saying, we got civilians in the outer perimeter. Please advise. Let's pause, and then he's like, but it's a little girl. But, and what happens next is really not, this is really bad, because the soldier's just pointing his gun at both of them, and you just know what happens next. He shoots, well, Joel tries to plead with him, but it doesn't really help, and the soldier fires. Joel turns his back, and he does have Sarah in her arms, but he turns his back and drops her, and he drops to the ground, and the soldier walks up to finish the job. He walks up to Joel, and is about to shoot right at his head, but then again, bullet to the brain, saved by the uncle. Well, Joel just sort of realizes he's not dead, and he just checks up on Sarah, but it's really fuck. Sarah has gotten shot. Joel is sort of, well, Joel's just like, well, he's trying to pressurize the wound, and he's just like, yes, baby, I know, yes, I know, just try hang there, don't do this to me. And it's a really sad moment, but it's just like, you've got to know her a little bit, and now she's straight away dead. It's really frustrating, because you got attached to that character pretty quickly, and that's just the beauty of the game, sort of, through the talking and everything. There's a lot of interaction going on between Joel and Sarah in the beginning, and you just see her die a horrible death by the hands of a human, not even as infected. So that's the crazy side of it. And Uncle's just sort of frozen in place. He's just looking over Joel's shoulder, and eventually, but she just lets go. She doesn't say anything. She's just in pain, and she lets go. And you just know that she's dead. Joel is crying at this point. It's just really sad. It's a really fucked up moment. And that's where the prologue ends. There are some hints from the prologue. There are a lot. Well, there's a hint to Ellie, where Ellie's talking about, well, did you see this movie, this teenage movie, Twilight? It was basically a parody of the Twilight Saga, but, did you see this movie? And Joe's like, yeah, I saw it before the outbreak. And she's like, oh, well, how come you saw it? And Joe's like, well, someone dragged me to see it. And it's probably Sarah, his daughter, that's the one who's dragged him to see it. It's most likely. And yeah, that's where the prologue ends. It's a really fucked up situation, but that's the loss, that's the loss of Joel, his character. And the game looks beautiful, by the way. It's a really HD, it's a really nice sort of look to the game. The atmosphere is nice. It is a bit linear in the running sequence, where there's just cars sort of blocking the ways where you're not supposed to go, zombies coming out the fences and shit like that where you're not supposed to go. So there is a bit of linear part to the game. It's not really open world in the beginning, but it's good enough for me because the characters were just so epic. Well, that's for me. Please subscribe or like the video if you find it enjoying, and for more, stay tuned. Bye.